Welcome to this screencast where we're doing the for loops, as this is a continuation of the two videos where I used a flowchart to explain loops. I've done the same here, but the for loop does fit into a flowchart. However, it's important to understand that those three elements are all inbuilt into your for statements. And I've prepared those other slides here to show you this. Now, in Python, if you use the range keywords, so here we would have a for loop that will start at 1, I would be 1, and will stop before you reach 11. So this is from 1 to 10, and then you're printing your number. And another example in Python is when you iterate through a list. So here I got a list of names of fruits. And in this case, all you have to do is for, and then you create a variable there, just a local one to use within this loop. For f in fruits, print f. And f will be apple. Then the next time you iterate through the loop, it's moving to the next element of the list, orange, and then pear. The trouble is with these Python examples is that it don't necessarily give you a good feel for what a for loop is. Now, if you remembered in year 9 and year 8, we used JavaScript sometimes. And the for statement in JavaScript really gives you a good idea of what is going on when you start a loop in a programming language. Because here, you've got three key elements. The first one, you're creating that variable and initialize it with a starting value, in this case 0. Then that will be your stopping condition. You stop before you reach the value 11. And finally, your increment. And in this case, you just increment by 1 each time. And there we print, so all the numbers. And I started at 0 there, so we would go 0 all the way to 10. So, to recap, the for loop, if you are presenting it inside a flowchart, it will look like a normal flowchart. However, and especially with JavaScript, here's when you declared and initialized your variable, here's your stopping condition, and here's your increment. In Python, which is what we use for GCSE, you can use the range function if you're iterating with numbers for your counter, which you can then use within your loop. And here's an example with a list, even though we haven't covered the list yet in lesson, this is coming soon. And here you're iterating through each element of the list, so apple first, then the second time you go through the loop, it will be orange, and the third time it will be pears. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to checking your work.